So you got the camera going. Nobody's watching, but that's fine. Just see how much space on the table do you see? Oh, that's not a lot. Can I put this camera a bit higher on the tripod? Let's check that out. So we can. Oh, it's not that easy. Let's see. Can I crank you up a little bit? Yes. Oh, but that's all. That's all I can do for you today. Because I kind of want to see the table too. So the first thing we are going to do, so the plan today is we take all of my Nintendo Switch games and we put them into plastic bags. The whole reason for that is I started doing that in the beginning of the year when I started putting all my games in boxes, from my shelves into boxes. And especially with my jewel case games, I didn't like the thought of them rattling around in the box. And when I'm moving the box, like the plastic cases knock against each other, scratch each other up. And I mean, it's a minor problem, but the thought annoyed me. And then I realized like I like the feel of having them in these bags. And I feel a bit safer just handling a stack of them and not having to worry about, well, anything actually. So I started putting all my DVD and Blu-ray cases into them too. And now almost my entire collection is put into plastic bags to be absolutely secure, to keep the seals intact for the few games that I have sealed and that I want to keep sealed. But in general, just to protect the games. So I got some of these acid-free bags to put my video games into. And that's what we are going to do. I counted, I have over 50 Nintendo Switch games and I think 100 plastic bags. So we may be here a while. So make yourself comfortable. And the phone is almost out of charge. Give me a second, I will get a charger. Got a charger and we are almost ready to go. Actually, let me take you off the tripod for a second and let's check out my Nintendo Switch games because we have to put them all on the table. You can see we have quite a few of them, a lot of them still sealed, and a few of them are staying sealed because I bought them and just lost all interest in playing them, and they're staying sealed until I am ready to play them, which may or may not be never. So putting all of these here. So we already have one of them bagged where I tried out putting them in the case. The cat is trying to eat the bags. So let's get all of them out. You can see I don't keep a lot of games sealed unless I still haven't gotten around to playing them. I just lost interest in playing them. But I have quite a few Switch games that need to be bagged. And I just got these plastic bags. And why not? It's not that expensive. I feel a bit more secure with them on. So these are the games we are going to bag today. Let's put you back onto the tripod and get going. So when I bagged all my other games, it took quite a while. We will see for how long we will be here. So let me get an extension lead and plug in the phone because I did not check the battery level before we started. Here we go. Now you're charging. Let me double check. Yes, we are charging. All right. So then we can start. Let's just sit down. The cat is taking over the couch. Go away, cat. And in case, no, we have no viewers. All right, so it's just a video on demand thing for a lot of people. But I thought I'd try out this live streaming feature that YouTube has, because I've never used that on my phone. I've always used like OBS, and well, it's always a hassle to set up. So just having my phone, pointing it on a table is the way to go for me. You can see these bags are a little bit too big. That's because I just couldn't find a Nintendo Switch bag, and these are for PSP cases. And I have a few PSP games, so they will fit nicely, but for the Switch cases, they're a bit oversized and don't look perfect. So as soon as I can find Nintendo Switch plastic bags, I will upgrade and just put all of them into plastic bags once again. All right, so there's no specific order. I need to organize my games later on, but we'll just put them all onto a big pile and look at them to make them look nice. So there's always this thing that protects the glue from sticking to everything, and you have these. And I have cats, and I don't want the cats to eat these. So I need to find another plastic bag to put these in. And I'm at my wit's end what I'm going to use for that. I see something. Give me a second. You know how magazines always come with these advertising pamphlets in them, and for some reason they put them into plastic bags to just say fuck you to the environment, I guess, but at least it has some use today before it's put into the trash. No, oh, let me readjust the camera, almost sat onto the charging cable. And I thought I'd just reminisce about some of these games I have. Disaster Report 4 I got a few months ago. It was only like 20 euros and it's fine. It was a lot of fun. It's like a one playthrough kind of game. But that's enough for me. Like getting one playthrough, and when I look back to it fondly, I mean that's enough. And that cover is just lovely. I like that. You have Cinemora EX, which was one of the first Nintendo Switch games that were released after the release, and one of the first I picked up. It was only 17 euros when it was brand new. And over here, the one we started with, Mario Odyssey. Like, this game needs no introduction. If you own a Nintendo Switch, you know you own this game. There's no way around it. It's a great game. Here we have The World Ends With You, a game I played on the Nintendo DS back then, on my M3 Simply, which was the predecessor to the R4 card. And back then, when I had no money, I had that card and I pirated all the games. And I couldn't really get into it. And over time, they just gave it fantastic reviews. I didn't want to play it on the iPad or on the iPhone, so I waited for the Nintendo Switch re-release, and the port is horrible. I get just a straight port from the iPad, and with wannabe motion controls added onto it, like it's unplayable on the TV. Monster Hunter Rise, my second Monster Hunter. I played Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, couldn't really get into it, but this one I played for I think 80 hours. And like I played none of the expansions, none of the extra monsters they added over the weeks and months after release. But I had my fun for the first couple of weeks this was out. Here we have Dragon Quest Builders 2, a game I still have not played. I have played Dragon Quest Builders 1, which is here somewhere. Here's Dragon Quest Builders 1. And I played the first world and thought, okay, that's fine. I don't need to play that anymore. I've heard the second one is better in every way, so I may just jump into that one if I ever feel the need to give it another try. But right now I'm fine. I got this for, I think, €7. There was this huge, amazing sale in a store nearby. I made a video about it. And yeah, I mean, for €7, I thought if I ever want to play it, like, it's nice to have it and give it a try. Let's just continue with Dragon Quest Builders 1. It's a great game. It runs well, it's very well done, but maybe my expectations were too high. Like, I'm not a Minecraft guy. I never got the appeal behind Minecraft. And I always heard amazing reviews from people who did not like Minecraft either. And like I said, it's fine. I played the first world, it was good, but nothing outstanding. At least if you ask me. But maybe there will be one day, a day where I can give it another try. Astral Chain, I still haven't played this. I know, it's a shame. As a huge Bayonetta fan, as a huge Nier Automata fan, as a huge Platinum Games fan in general, I still haven't played it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've heard it's pretty lengthy, so around 20 hours, I think. So it's a commitment. It's not like an 8-hour game I can just play for an hour every day. It's like a commitment. I need to keep my evenings clear for that one. Then another one, I thought about getting this when it launched. And I didn't. Then I got it for €7 at that sale, and still haven't played it yet. I played the demo when it came out, that had like 3 levels, and it was alright. It told me not to get it on launch, but I'm totally open to have like a mission-based game in my life and still need to check out. And here we have Doraemon, Story of Seasons. I got this at the sale too, and still haven't played it. Huge fan of Story of Seasons, the Harvest Moon series, or at least the old Harvest Moon games. I haven't played Pioneers of Olive Town because that one just looks like not my cup of tea. It feels like there was no effort put into it whatsoever. So I skipped that, and especially when they kept releasing DLC for it, you had to pay for that felt like this should have been in the finished game. I just skipped it. So if there's ever a complete edition, I may pick it up. But I'm skipping it, and I'm getting Rune Factory 5 that comes out next year, which I think it's already out in Japan, but not over here in the West. And Doraemon Story of Seasons, even though Story of Seasons is like a huge seller, I think when Xseed got into publishing them, it was like the best-selling games that they ever did, the 3DS one. And especially with the Doraemon title attached to it, I thought that would never come out over here. But it did. I was very surprised. And the graphics are beautiful. Like, these are stunning. And I really want to give it a try at one point. But the Story of Seasons game are just a huge time sink that you need to commit to and just have running all the time. I don't know why I want to open these. I don't need to open these to put a bag around them. I did a video about this one too, Akiba's Trip, the port of the PSP game. It's a port of a PSP game. It's nothing special, there's nothing new to it, but we finally got it in the West, and I bought it partly to support the Akiba Strip series, which I'm a huge fan of. I liked the PS3 game, I bought the PS4 port as well, and I just want to see another one. They did this Akiba's Beat in between, which, as far as I've heard, is just terrible all around. But the other two games, the main part of the series, the Akiba's Trip games, also got bad reviews. So I will pick up Akiba's Beat at one point and give it a shot. You have Tanuki Justice, a game that is just super reminiscent of old Master System games. If you love Master System games, this is the game for you. This is what you want to get. There's Pixel Heart did a physical release. I don't know if it's still available. It was for a very long time. So just give it a shot, go to their website. Oh yeah, I already backed this one. This is one of the games I'm keeping sealed because I lost all the interest in getting this. So I paid the full price for it, but I bought it and just thought the reviews were not very good, and I never gave it a shot. So and I don't feel like doing it, so it's staying sealed for now. But this is a sentimental game for me. This and Penny Punching Princess were the first games I saw that were pre-orderable on the Nintendo Switch. So I wanted to get these to think about the beginning of the console's lifespan and the games I was excited to get. New Pokemon Snap, great game. You can get it. Just a relaxing, grindy game that you can play like for 1 or 2 hours in the evening to wind down. And I may have done this incorrectly here. So it's too far down. It looks horrible. Let me fix that. Yes, let's do that. Amazing! New Pokemon Snap. I've never played the N64 one. I never had an N64. I have one now. My girlfriend brought one into the relationship, and we don't have Pokemon Snap, so we did not play that. She played it with friends back in the day. I did not. Here's this Travis Strikes Back. I got this at the sale too, and still haven't played it yet. I want to do that before I play No More Heroes 2 and 3, or does this play after 2? Maybe I should play 2 first. Which in Japan they had a physical collection for the Switch that you can get, because sadly it's only been released in on the Wii here in the West, I think. There's a digital download and the limited edition one, but I played the PS3 port of the first one and liked that, but I don't want to play on the Wii. It's that simple. Here we have Fire Emblem Heroes, another game I got at the Amazing Games sale for, yeah, I think 10 euros. And like, I like the Dynasty Warriors games, but I don't know if this one is the one I want to go into. This one's great. Catherine Full Body. I played the original on the 360 back in the day and wanted to play the extended version on PS4, but that one only came out in a huge limited edition box that I didn't feel like putting into my flat. And later on they put out the Switch version. I got this, and then they put out a standalone PS4 version. But if there's a Switch version and it runs fine, I'm getting that one. So I got this. And this may be one of the harder to find, rarer games. This is not a game you find everywhere, at least not around here. Animal Crossing. I bought this one for playing with my girlfriend. She wanted to have one. She got the digital copy with her Nintendo Switch Lite. And I got the physical version. And I mean, if you've played one Animal Crossing, you've kind of played them all. I played the DS one for hours and hours and hours, and I just can't dedicate myself to fully playing another Animal Crossing. I played that at the right time in my life where I had nothing else to do but Animal Crossing and Nintendogs every day. And I think that's the right mindset you have to be in. This one is great, even though it's kind of a not as great remake as you'd like it to be. It's the remake of Prince of Mineral Town, the Game Boy Advance Animal Crossing game, not Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon game, which in turn was a enhanced demake of Back to Nature on the PS1. Sadly, this remake did not put a lot of the cut Back to Nature content back into Friends of Mineral Town, so this one is basically a 3D remake of the kind of bare bones GBA version, which removed a lot of festivals, things like that, but added a lot of extra events as well. So overall, it's a nice in between the other two versions. Here we have Breath of the Wild with the European cover, which is a lot better than the US version. They just released a complete version with the DLC on card in Japan. I'm planning on importing that. But on the other hand, it's such a popular game, and with Pokemon, we got the complete version. So I may be waiting for a Western release, because I want to play the DLC, but I do not support digital content. So I may have to import the Japanese one unless they are releasing a Western complete version. It's a great game, by the way. So, and just also to have the patches on card is worth it to buy the complete version, in my opinion. Here we have La Mulana. I was excited for this one. I really like the original La Mulana on PC. I never finished it, so I thought I could get through the remake that was released on WiiWare and later Vita, and now it's on everything. But I never got through it. I drew my own maps and just stopped at one point. But still, I want to give it a try. Once again, especially the second one, which I've never played. That one came out way after the WiiWare remake came out, and I played the original before that one even. I played the fan translation for the PC. Mario 3D World, I got this one for Mario Sunshine. No other reason. Like I tried playing Galaxy and I didn't like it back then. I still don't like Galaxy. The port of Mario 64 here is disappointing at best. And I was never a huge fan of Mario 64 as well. So I just got it to replay Mario Sunshine without having to look at my GameCube. Because over here in Europe, you may know, our GameCubes don't support progressive scan. And I have to deinterlace the picture and have to put it through my OSSC, and it just doesn't look as good as I want it to look and as good as I know it can look when you put it through component or even the HDMI mods. And that's why I dislike playing on my GameCube nowadays, because the European model is just gimped and it makes me mad. I've never played Octopath Traveler. I just like the art style. I'll definitely pick up the Dragon Quest III remake that they are releasing for that. Speaking of Dragon Quest, here it is, sealed Dragon Quest 11. Got this at a sale a few months ago, and this is a game I totally want to get into. I know the PS4 version was out, but long and grindy RPGs are not something I want to play on the TV all the time. I like the chance to do it. And most of the time, even with games I don't expect it, like Xenoblade 2, I finished that 100% on the TV. But I like to have the option to take it on a train ride, just to grind for some experience point, grind some levels, try some, grind things. And do something where I don't have to pay attention and I don't have to take up the TV for that. Legend of Mana, I just got this in a package from PlayAsia. And I really want to play this. but I'm still playing through Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast and playing a bit of Pokemon Sword in between. So there's no time right now, but this is on the, it's still sealed, as you can see, and now it's doubly sealed, but it's still on the, I will open that and at least try to play that. We'll see how that works out. Ys 9, Monstrum Nox, I was excited. I wanted to get the Switch version, and then I played the demo and compared that to the PS4 version. And just the frame rate, the 60 FPS makes a huge difference in Ys. And I would just not recommend picking up the Switch version, which why it's not opened. And I would like to play it, but part of me wants to get it on PS4. Just the dodging was a lot easier to do, and it just felt a lot better. And I don't want to ruin my experience with Ys 9, and yeah, because I really like the Ys series, even though 8 I wasn't a huge fan of. I want to really play 9 and kind of want to get the best experience. And it's a game where you really have to pay attention to what you're doing in combat. And that's something I don't like to do portably. So with this game, I'm not a huge... I don't really need the portability. I mean, it's nice that it's there, but I would rather take the 60 FPS of the PS4 port. Here we have Link's Awakening. I want to play this. Like, I didn't get it when it came out. I got it at a sale a few weeks ago. And I thought like 37 euros in the end I paid for it. And that's worth it. I used to be blown away. Friends of mine had the Game Boy Color game, the Oracle games. And I only knew Pokemon. And they could attack with a sword. Oh my god! And because the Oracle games are kind of enhanced versions of the original Link's Awakening, I have a huge nostalgic boner for these Game Boy Zelda games. It blew my mind. And I have a funny story. When you cut the grass in Zelda with the sword, that blew me away. What? You can cut the grass? Oh my god. So I was... Oh, the cat is coming in. Please don't ruin the charging cables. Hello. Hello, cat. Oh no, please don't get your hair onto the plastic. That would drive me nuts. So, away with you. So I was blown away. Like, you can cut the grass. So I went to Pokemon, and you can use the cut ability to cut the overworld grass. And I was walking around trying to replicate what I saw in the Game Boy Zelda games. It was like, I was crazy. But as a kid, like, you don't have anything. You have to make do with what you have, and Pokemon was what I had. So I tried to replicate Zelda with Pokemon abilities. I did a similar thing when Yu-Gi-Oh came out and the cards were brand new and you couldn't really get them at a store. So I made my own Yu-Gi-Oh out of old Pokemon cards I had. Like just you use what you have, and nowadays you just buy whatever you want. It's kind of sad. Saga Frontier, I got this with Legend of Mana, and I want to play that as well. Even though the porting job is not as good as Legend of Mana, where M2 was working on it. It's a part of the mobile version, but still. The Saga games always fascinated me, and I really want to try that out. I like that idea of just letting you loose into a fantasy world. And okay, go figure stuff out, good luck. And I may not beat it, but maybe I will have some fun with the game. Monster Boy, finished that recently, did an entire video about my ranking of the Monster Boy games. And yeah, this one is right up there with some of the best, even though I thought it was kind of too hard. Honestly, too hard. And talking about Wonder Boy, this is the Hong Kong version. Yeah, this is the Hong Kong English version. I imported this when a Western release was not announced. There was the limited run version, which I didn't get. It was the first limited run game I tried to get, but I couldn't. And when the Asia version was announced, I just imported it instantly. And recently, it's almost 2 years ago, I think, we got a Western release, a standard release of Wonder Boy in Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. Yes, that's the title. Yeah, The Dragon's Trap, which is, in my opinion, the best Wonder Boy game. So, and the Switch or the remake in general is most likely the preferred version to play it nowadays. Trials of Mana. This is my girlfriend's. I gave this to her for her birthday. She was really in love with the demo, and we didn't pick it up at launch, but I got it for her when it went down in price a little bit. And it plays a lot like the Ys games, the modern Ys games with the party system. You can feel the lower budget, but it's totally fine. It's a great remake of the original. And the reason I didn't get it at launch is I had just finished playing through the Secret of Mana collection, and I had just finished the original. And having played through all 3 of the original Mana games, one after the other, I didn't feel like having to play another one right away. Which is funny. The Nintendo Switch now has the first 4 Mana games. So 1, 2, 3, even a remake of 3. And then we have Legend of Mana, which is a spin-off. So all we need is a port of Seiken Densetsu 4. Or was it Dawn of Mana? And we would have the complete main series on Switch. I know that one is not very well liked, but it never got a European release. So I never gave it a try. And I would like to. I know there's a lot of like physics puzzles in there that a lot of people didn't enjoy, but I would be willing, if they plan to do an HD port of that on the Switch, I would be totally down to try that out. Shin Megami Tensei 3, I got this as a preparation for 5. And even though I liked the battle system and everything, the dungeon design and layout is just like killed the entire fun for me. I'm just in yet another underground tunnel that's just a maze of hallways, and like I like the battle system, I like fusing my demons, but I don't want to walk through these dungeons, and I really, really hope that Shin Megami Tensei 5 has some interesting dungeons that are not just another underground hallway to go through. Like, I paused this game planning to go back to it, but after 20 hours, like, I don't think I will go back to this. And if I do, like, I tried to go back to it, boss kicked my ass, and I didn't have the motivation to try it again. Ori Collection, just got this. I'm playing through Ori 1 right now, and these are great. And of course, I am a bit attached to these games. I never had an Xbox, and it was one of these games that I like to play one day, even though I didn't have an Xbox One ever, or Series X nowadays. But Ori 1 and 2 got separate physical releases, and now they have a collection, so happy to get this. I pre-ordered it. It was a lot cheaper than its finished price. I pre-ordered it for 40 euros, 35, instead of the 50 it actually launched at. So if you were all early at pulling the trigger when you saw this on Amazon in Germany, you got a nice little discount. And it's a great game. And of course, the sentimental attachment, even though the developers are from Austria, I think. Like, I'm German, like the brothers to the south, like, just happy that we have games like this. We have a viewer. Oh my God, there's somebody watching. Can you comment? Can people let me see, how is this app working? Is there comments I can do? Live chat, show me everything. So if there's anybody watching, you can comment, whoever you are. Oh, now the person is gone. All right, that's sad. Well, I've been talking to myself for the past 35 minutes. I can keep doing that and not get too sad. Here we have Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I never had a Wii U, so I'm totally fine with all the Wii U ports. Like keep them coming. I want Xenoblade X to come to the Switch. And this one just seemed super interesting, but I didn't get a Wii U back then because I just wasn't interested. And I had just played Persona 4 a couple of years ago, and I didn't really feel like going into another one right away when this came out for the Wii U, for the Switch. So I just got it at a sale recently. And as you can see, the RPGs on the Switch that I have not played yet are keeping me quite busy. So there's a lot to do. Even if games just exploded and never came out again, I have enough to play for the rest of my life. Not even thinking about all the games I want to replay because I enjoyed them so much the first time around. And I think, in my experience, if you replay the games you really like, you just start to appreciate them a lot more. Like a lot of my favorite games of all time, even though I liked them, I only started loving once I replayed them. This I got for my girlfriend as well. Like Luigi's Mansion, I would never start a series like this with the third one. I would, maybe I can, I need to check, like can I get the first two on the 3DS for cheap now? I would definitely do that. Happy Birthdays. This one is an interesting one. This is like a simulation strategy game you can play. It came out as Birthdays the Beginning on the PS4. I wanted to get it, but it got really bad reviews. It's made by is the logo on? Yeah, Toybox, who ruined a lot of games. They developed the Deadly Premonition port of the first one to the Switch. And it's the company of the founder of the original creator of Harvest Moon, which I'm a huge fan of, like I told you. And then on the 3DS, they made Hometown Story, which is a deeply flawed game, but I love that to pieces. And ever since then, I always gave their games a try, and this one was the game that followed Hometown Story. Completely different genre, completely different style of game. But I must say it's pretty fun. If you're a fan of like Digimon or monster raising games, you basically change the temperature, the terrain, the like height and the depth of the oceans, and you have to just create the perfect climate for the creature you want to create. And that's just a great, like I recommend this. You can probably get it for cheap now. It released for the Switch, and I would recommend the Switch version, not the PS4 version, because that one, this is an updated version. The original was, as far as I've heard, very bare bones. So give this a try. It's definitely great. This one, I was so excited when I found this in the store. The German version is really, really rare of this game, of the Gunvolt Striker pack, because the publisher, I think, went bankrupt just as they released this. So there are very few copies out there. And as far as I can see, it's really very easy to get in Asia and in the US. But the German version, super rare and never got another print. And it's, oh, we have another viewer. Hello, welcome. I'm no longer talking to myself, I hope. If that person is trying to comment and not leaving like the other person who left me behind. All right, let's put that into a bag. So yeah, this is like the spiritual sequel to Hello, MX Ignition. I don't think I've ever seen you on my channel before. Are you a returning subscriber, or did you just find me because YouTube recommended my videos randomly? This is The Police. This is like a police simulation game. and it's fun for a couple of hours, but I never finished it. Like it's just repetitious, and you do the same things over and over. I don't recommend picking this up for more than like 10-15 euros. It has a sequel that I want to get, but from what I've heard, it's just more of the same. Whoops. So, this is the police. Okay game. Owlboy, a lot of people really love this. But, like, I thought it was okay. I played through it, it's alright. Oh, comment. I mean, they're vanishing so quickly. Show chat. I have no idea. You commented. Oh, there it is. I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure out this live stream thing. Babble on Instagram. Yeah, all right. So I know you. Like, even though I'm not really on Instagram that much, I made that profile like on a whim because I had a few pictures because I was selling a huge chunk of my collection. And I thought, like, let me put all of these on Instagram just to remember them. And I went through all my photographs and now I no longer have stuff to put onto Instagram. And I don't really know Instagram that well. I know you're a great, like, you're pretty popular on there, I think. You have a few more followers than I do. And I just don't understand it. Like, you're forming groups, but like there's no group system in Instagram. So you're just tagging each other into every post. Like, I'm an old dude, like I know YouTube, and ever since they introduced hashtags, like I'm totally out of the loop. But like Instagram, I still don't get that to this day. So if you want to give me like a crash course on how to get popular on Instagram, like send me a message. Snipperclips, by the way, if you have not played this, this is a great game for 2 people. And this physical release has 40 extra levels. Like, you're going to kill the other player. I can tell you that. And I've only played it in 2-player. I cannot imagine coordinating 4 players in some of these levels. Like, there will be blood in the room when I play this 4 players. It's driving me crazy. This is probably one of the biggest disappointments for me on the Nintendo Switch. Like, I really, really liked the DS New Super Mario Brothers. I hated the Wii version. I've never played 2. I never played... No, my sister had it on the Wii U, so I played it with her a little bit. And I didn't like that. And I thought, let's give it another shot when it came out on the Switch. And, like, I hate this. I hate this game. It's, like... It feels like there's no effort in there. It just looks the same, and I don't know. I've heard very great things from people who didn't like the original about Luigi U, so I will try that out. So, okay, let me look at the comments. Oh god, this live streaming app is just crazy. I have no idea. Like, show me the chat. What is it? Lol, you hate it? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, copy paste hashtags. Okay, I'm always thinking like I don't want to spam the hashtags. And I know like from YouTube tags, if you put too many tags on there, it's actually detrimental to being found. So I never want to spam the hashtags on any of my posts. So I just put like 3 or 4 that I think would be the ones people find me by. But if you say, okay, let's just spam the copy paste hashtags in there, I will try doing that. And but I don't know, when I look at my collection, for me it's nothing special. I don't know, are people interested in that? When I show my Switch collection, for me just an assortment of games that everyone buys. Like, okay, everyone has the collection of Mana, right? Are people, like when I post this like on a nice background on Instagram, I don't think people want to see that. Like, I have no idea what to post on Instagram. There are a few like rare gems in my collection that I like to show, but like I have no idea what to do on Instagram. Like, for me it just, and when I see other posts, like, okay, that's interesting, that looks good, and I don't know, everything I have just seems uninteresting. You think people do? Just, okay, this is collection of mana. All right, have fun. And then maybe I can put, where is it? Yeah, I can put these side by side, and then I get out the, yes, here, let's put the Legend of Mana right next to it. Is this, like, I will screen grab this and just put it on Instagram, I think. Okay, I just ruined the entire stack. I have to clean this up. I don't want all of these to fall onto the floor. Because I just put them into nice bags. I don't want to ruin the cases. I mean, it's not like the plastic cases are easy to ruin. But just, I like it nice and tidy. Oh, Taiko no Tatsuten. I didn't even realize I put this in here. I got the big box, and it was the only release that was physical. You couldn't even get the game itself. And I must say, I wasn't a big fan of the music collection in here. Still, the best music rhythm game I know is Elite Beat Agents and Taiko. Like, in addition to the very loud drums, I didn't like the music selection too much. That's a cool game. You want that. Okay, which game are you talking about? Like, I just tipped over the entire stack. Do you mean Legend of Mana? Because all of the other ones are pretty standard. Oh, here, people will have a big boner for that one, right? Even though this one is just a normal release. I think the 3DS one on Switch is the one that people want. Is that correct? No idea. Oh yeah, Taiko. I don't know, if a while ago you could get it for pretty cheap. And maybe you can get just the case version in itself for pretty cheap if you don't want the drums or want to get a third-party one. Like I paid was it 120 euros at launch, and I must say it's not worth that. If you really like the Taiko games and enjoy the music selection on there, but I'm always looking for like some 80s, 90s music, and even a bit of Britney Spears and Spice Girls is always my jam. Okay. Oh yeah, Yakuza 4 had a port of Taiko. Correct. I do remember that, and I have still did it. I played Yakuza 5. Is that still in the PS4 version? I don't remember it. I thought it was Yakuza 6 that had it. But maybe I'm incorrect. I know Yakuza 5 had Virtua Fighter 4 or something. Or 3? No, 4. 4 is the PS2 one. So, yeah. I mean, this one hits a bit different nowadays, right? Here in Sonic Forces, they put an II costume in there. It's II, right? The main monkey? I don't remember 100%. I still need to get the new Monkey Ball game, but I assume that one will drop in price like a rock in water, and I just want to wait until it's like 25 maybe. By the way, Sonic Forces, people hate this game so much. I really enjoyed it. I even got all the weird like red coins or emblems or something you have to collect, and I mean the classic Sonic levels are just horrible, yeah. So in Generations, I thought they were okay, but here, like, they should have just not have these in here. And the music is amazing. Like, Sonic Force is one of the best soundtracks on Switch that I remember. So, might be a few of them that I have. Taiko, recycle a lot of mini games. Yeah, the Yakuza games. I know. Like, I'm kind of sad that Shenmue 3 didn't have the arcade games in there, but I can understand it not trying to pay the license for all of that. But I thought that made up a huge chunk of the Shenmue experience, and I was really excited when Yakuza started to get real arcade games in there. Even though people are still saying Yakuza is the replacement for Shenmue, like, I don't agree with that. Like, they're completely different games. I was disappointed the second I started Yakuza, and people told me, oh, it's like Shenmue, but like it's a bit more streamlined and a bit more story-based and a bit more for the everyday consumer. And I went to the soda machine and I couldn't buy a drink. Like, what the fuck? People say this is like Shenmue. This is the basic you have to get right when you make a Shenmue game or you want to like take over Shenmue's market or be a replacement. Like, you can't even buy a drink at the machine. Like, that adds so much to the whole experience. I saw a comment here. Might be a few of them that have, okay, I'm one of those that hate Sonic Forces, but okay, bias, I don't like Sonic really at all. Like, I'm a huge Sonic fan. Uh, Weirdly enough, I'm one of those weird Sonic fans. I'm a huge fan of the games that a lot of people don't like. Like, Sonic 1 is one of my favorites. I'm not a huge fan of Sonic 2 or 3. Then Sonic Adventure is my favorite Sonic game. Like, that game is deeply flawed, but it's so fun just to zoom around and do the spin dash and all of that. It's just a freeing experience. I just need to check what the time is. I have a bit more time. I teach English and I have an English lesson later on. I can't really miss that one. Yeah. So I didn't even say anything about Let's Go Eevee. This is the best Pokemon game on Switch. It has an Eevee on the cover. I mean, come on. And it's just so much fun. I know a huge part is my nostalgia for the original Pokemon games, but I just thought there was so much detail in every last bit of the Let's Go games that Sword and Shield was really lacking. So, and I like the whole open world idea that Sword and Shield advertised they would have, but then they didn't. So in Let's Go Eevee, once you beat the second gym, like the entire world is open for you. You can go everywhere. And I like that. Okay, this one. Yeah? Little Dragons Cafe. Again, earlier I talked about Happy Birthdays. It's also made by Toybox and directed by the same person who originally made the Harvest Moon games. And this is kind of like a semi-sequel to Hometown Story on the DS, one of my favorite DS games. And this one is based all around gathering ingredients and cooking and running a cafe. And there's so much lost potential in this. Like, Hometown Story had so much potential and didn't really deliver on it, even though I liked it a lot. This one just has so much potential. It's such a pretty game that, like, they did nothing with it. And that's really sad. You can get it for really cheap now. I would recommend the PS4 version because this one runs in 30 FPS instead of 60 and has that really weird glitch where the character, when he walks at the top of his jump, he stops for 1 frame. So it's like all jittery and it's like the Switch version is horrible. And the game itself, like I said, just not delivering on what I wanted. Xenoblade 2, I played the first one on the 3DS. Xenoblade 2 is story-wise like trash, but the gameplay is so much fun. I did all the optional bosses and it's like, this is a game I just like running around in. The characters are super cliche, but Poppy is one of my favorite characters. Like, that's just great. So Xenoblade 2. Still, Nintendo, give us Xenoblade X and I will be a happy camper. So, Dragon Marked for Death, I bought this when it came out. Sadly, this is not the complete version because, does it say anywhere? Yeah, it comes with both halves of the game. So the game was released on the eShop in 2 parts. Each of them had 2 of the 4 characters. And then this one included the expansion pass. And they added a lot, extra levels, and the game now is completely different than what it was at launch. This is like a 2D Monster Hunter game, made by the same people at Inti Creates that did the Gunvolt games. And this one is just great, but I would like to buy another copy that has everything on card. Even though it's heavily based on online play, I just want to have all that content safe, slapped onto a card that does not require me to download the entire thing. Here I have Pokemon Shield, and this is pretty obsolete now that I have this. I just bought this a few days ago with the expansion pass. But yeah, Pokemon Shield, I've just been playing this for the last few days. I bred a competitive Berserker, and like all the breeding mechanics, and mechanically this game is great. Graphically, story-wise, the environments, it's just a huge disappointment. Like they perfected the mechanics, but everything around it is pretty disappointing. Even though I've heard very good things about the add-on. So, I've been waiting for the new Pokemons to get cheaper. Yeah, I would definitely say huge recommendation. I just got this. I was talking to the guy at the store, like, you cannot get these anymore, at least over here in Germany, the ones that have the expansion pass. And I know they're expensive, but I can see these going up in price a lot. And I even bought the Shield version as well. I will only open one, I will keep this sealed. And yeah, I want to play the expansion pass because I've heard so many people say that that's like the real game. That's what we wanted from the main game, but you have to pay extra for it. But I would just say, yeah, wait for a price drop. I think you can get Sword and Shield, the base games, for maybe 30 euros, dollars, depending on where you live now. Bayonetta 2 is one of these games I wanted on the Wii U, but I didn't have a Wii U, so I never got it. And then they announced Bayonetta 3, amazing! And then they announced a port of Bayonetta 2, including only the digital copy of Bayonetta 1. But yeah, I played it. It's great. I don't think the second one is as good as the first one, but still a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. And I'm super excited for Bayonetta 3. And I'm so kicking myself for not importing the Japanese version that has both games on card. Or a card for both games. I don't really know how they worked that one out. But yeah, I think that's one of the most expensive Switch games nowadays. Can't wait for Bayonetta 3. Yeah, definitely. Man, Bayonetta, the first one, I was 16 at the time it came out, I think. 16 or 17. And over here in Germany, it's an 18 rating. So I couldn't just go into a store and buy it. And I said, man, the second I turn 18, I'm going into the store and I'm buying Bayonetta. And it was magical. Like by the time I got it, it was already down to like 10 euros. And it's just amazing. I'm not a huge score person, so I play through the story. And maybe try to get the S ranks in the beginning levels, but it's just so much fun. And I need to replay Bayonetta 3. I'm definitely planning on replaying both of these before Bayonetta 3 comes out. But that one just looks amazing. It looks like they really turned everything up to 11. And even though I'm still not a huge fan of the haircut, I'm actually quite enjoying the short one in Bayonetta 3. I like the idea that like her hair changes in every game. Even though in the new one it doesn't look like she's using her hair as a weapon anymore. Right? She keeps her suit. So these here, the Yumabari games, are the games like nobody has heard about. I got the first one on the Vita, I got the second one on PS4, and then they released the collection on Switch. And these are just breathtaking experiences. So give those a try. Yomawari. They're more or less the same game. First, so different story, but mechanically very similar. Here we have the Ninja Warriors, or yeah, the Ninja Warriors again, I think, is the Japanese title, or once again for the Switch port. This one is just great. Like I'm not a huge retro arcade style gamer, but this one was quite a lot of fun. So if you can get your hands on this, it's quite worth it. They did an amazing job upgrading the original Super Nintendo game. And I think it comes with like art cards in there. I have no idea. I just sealed it shut. I can't really look. Binding of Isaac. I think they even did a newer version. Like they said, okay, this is like the best final version, and then they made another one. This was as well one of the first Switch games I think they announced. And when I got this, like it was just to encapsulate these early months, like the first year of the Switch lineup. A lot of games I got just for that reason, like getting the console, being excited, and looking forward to all the games. And you say you love Binding of Isaac. When I finally played it, I am not made for these rogue games. I enjoy the style. I enjoy dungeon crawlers, but the randomly generated nature of this game and everything, it was not to my liking. Like I played it for hours. It's addicting, but it's not one of my favorite games. It's not something I would recommend when people ask me for what is your favorite Switch game, or would you recommend some great Switch games? Same with Mario Kart 8. I just have this for, okay, you have friends over. It's always great to have Mario Kart just in case. But even though I did some time trial when it came out, it's not something, Mario Kart is not something I sit down alone at home and play. Talking about Binding of Isaac, aside from the greed mode, I have no idea what that was. Like, I don't know. But I just felt like with the starting characters, it just needlessly hard. I think it was super hard. I finished like the game once and unlocked a few of the other characters, but I just feel so limited, and it's not like it's not something I spend 200, 300 hours in like some people. Same with this one. Like I'm not a huge turn-based strategy fan, or strategy in general, not even like the strategy RPGs. And I gave it a try, even though I hate these rabbits. I would rather, like, why not Mario plus Rayman? That would be so great to have Globox and Murphy and all of these other characters. But no, it had to be the rabbits. And they're fine in the game. They're not too annoying. But I wasn't a huge fan. And I got the gold edition at one point for really cheap. Gave it a try, and no, I never finished it. Penny Punching Princess, this is a great game. Oh god, I totally forgot to buy Princess Bride, something Princess, which is the sequel to this game. I hope that's not super expensive. Let me check that. If it is, like, I will be so mad. Like, let me check Amazon. Switch Princess. Oh god, what was the name of that game? Princess. If you know what that is, like the sequel to Penny Punching Princess, NIS, America. Let me see. I hope that's not super expensive. I've been wanting to pick that up and I totally forgot. The Princess Guide on the Switch. Oh, it looks like you can still get copies for like 40 euros. So original release price. Okay. So this one is the sequel to Penny Punching Princess. And I like this one. It's very grindy, but it's a lot of fun. Don't play it on your Joy-Cons. You will ruin that. You have to rotate the analog stick. Like, do it on a Pro controller. But I've heard good and bad things about the sequel, and want to try that out at one point. Like, I just remembered that needs to go onto the shopping list right away, and I need to try that out. And that's it. All my games are in bags now. Let me double check. Is there anything else? I don't think so. So I have 2 more Switch games, just in case you want to see them. I have Axiom Verge in the collector's edition and Moon, but they're just staying in there. They don't need extra bags. They wouldn't fit in there otherwise. Let's see. Yes. Here's another one, and that one has a case as well, Sonic Mania. But it's staying in there. That one doesn't need a bag. Or does it? No, it doesn't. All right, so we backed everything. There's still a few things left for new games and PSP games. Let's make a mess. Let's make a mess right here. So let's just do this, and let's swim. Let's go swimming, my boy, and just enjoy some of the Switch games. Yeah. Now that's a collection. That's a pile of games, man. That's a pile of games. That's how I like it. I didn't even realize how many Switch games I had until I looked into my closet a few weeks ago, and oh boy, like the Switch has so many great games. Even though I've been super disappointed with the lineup over the last 1 or 2 years. Like Nintendo has really dropped the ball and needs to get better at releasing their own games. They have been so lazy, but the third-party support is just lovely. Lovely. So, one special edition on Switch, silver case. Yeah, I want to get that too, even though, give me a second. I have the PS4 ports. I have just no idea where they are. They are... Let's see. Okay, they're somewhere where I can't find them right away, but they're here somewhere on the PlayStation 4 shelf. But don't ask me where. They are somewhere, I can tell you. Yeah, but like I enjoyed the first one. I finished that one, but I never enjoyed this, or I never finished the sequel. I never felt the need to play more of that, and just getting a Switch port of that, I don't know. Maybe when I can find it for cheaper. You love the game so much. I can understand that. I was super excited when I heard that the PS1 game got a port, but then the remake of the sequel, yeah. Yeah, I need to get going now. Thank you very much for hanging out. So I didn't think anyone would show up, but it was a lot of fun. All my games are in bags now, and I don't think these will fit into the shelf anymore, now that they take up a bit more space, but I will make it work somehow. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I need to go. I need to work now. Time for work. All right. So how do I stop this? How do you stop? How do you stop this? Where is it? Turn off microphone? No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. You have a good day too. Let's see. Is it just the X? Do I press the X? I hope so. Yeah,